Thanks for staying with us. So Nigerians are reacting to the news of Benue State Governor Samuel Ortom reconciling a Nigerian man who's from Benue State actually, and his wife over the weekend that accused him of domestic violence. On Sunday, the wife of this man, who is also a medical doctor, shared a video online about how her husband repeatedly beat her up during their 6-year marriage. Now, our focus is not so much on where he works, because that was all over social media. We're not focused on that. I don't want anybody calling on that. Our focus is the context in which we're establishing of the fact that the governor of Benue State reigned in on this matter and brought the couple together. Now, there are so many factors. There is the factor that it's a crime. Domestic violence itself is a crime. There's a factor of we have involved an elder to come and resolve it. And there's a fact that how does this go with other similar situations? How does a woman who's undergoing domestic violence at this time, are we encouraging her to seek the law to get her safety, or find somebody like this to resolve? How do we go forward with these precedents, I would say, that has been established by this situation? I'd like you to go for his name, because I know that... go ahead. What are your views? Did you have reservations with the governor getting involved, or do you feel that it was right for him to get involved?
Okay, I think it was right for him to get involved.
Okay.
I think the woman didn't want the law to take its course, that her objective was to get people to shame her husband into conforming, to shame him into being responsible. So women get abused every time, and the right course is to go to the police and stand through the cause. So no matter what happens, stay and prosecute and be the witness and make sure that justice is served. But when you call out, it's like calling on family to help. So she did a call out video, and the governor interfered and intervened and brought back peace in the home.
But Nima, you of all people, you know a lot of these kind of cases where this has happened, they reconciled them, and the next we hear the woman was killed. Maybe this time she didn't have an opportunity to do a video this time around. Something happened, and maybe the man... we've heard these stories. Even the Ghanaian, was reminding me of the Ghanaian guy in the US that happened, where they warned the girl, don't go back to this man. And he did. So we've seen this happen over and over again. So do you think it's the right course of action to resolve? Let me come to Waike before I come back to you.
You see, the other day, I think I shared this story. I have this young guy who just got married in August. And within the month, he beat his wife up because of a boyfriend that they were texting each other, they were contacting each other. So jealousy, I think, and then he regretted it, and then he came to Theo and I and said, please help me go and beg her. Now, Theo and I, we balked at that. I spoke to the girl on the phone. What she said is, if he kills me, and I thought to myself, if I take you back and to go and beg her, and she accepts, and then you now kill her, it will be on my conscience for the rest of my life.
Absolutely.
Now, I hope that if this man kills his wife, the governor is ready for that conscience. I hope his conscience will talk to him. Because I would not get involved in... I saw the video, her kids were hanging around, and she said, her kids were even begging when it was happening. Now, how do you do that in front of your children? How do you expect your children to grow up? One was a little boy, because I saw the little boy. That is one. One was a 4-week-old baby. She just had a cesarean, and he sat on, according to the video, on the incision. What if that had opened up? So he has anger issues, obviously. Now, I now saw the reconciliation picture where he didn't look remorseful. He looked embarrassed. He still looked annoyed to me, but I'm not a judge of character, so I can't. But I'm just saying what I saw.
Where is the place of forgiveness? Because the truth is, there are people who have beaten their spouses, and the spouses have forgiven them, and today they are still married happily. So there's always that thin line between, do I forgive? Because whether you like it or not, in this case, this woman is a medical doctor. But there are some women that are not empowered, they're not educated, they're dependent on this man. So even after I cry out, At the end of the day, I must reconcile because where will I take 4 children to? So there's always that part of the story too.
There's a problem with the system. I think in Benue State, I don't know how good their justice system is. Even Lagos that have good justice system is slow. Women have to wait for years and suffer this. Some women lack custody to their children because some men use them as bait in the whole of this torso. The truth is, it is not right for a woman to be beaten and settled with her husband to go and continue life as she sees it without addressing the issue. So the issues for me that I expect the governor to address, anger management, subject him at least administratively as governor, since you have fatherly role to play for them, subject him to counseling. Make him work the process to deal with these issues that you have been able to identify. But that you cannot come in as a governor when she has opened up like this is no, that's he can come in. But when you come in, at what point are you coming in? Make sure that the man is fulfilling his role because she had issues. One of the basis, the cause of the quarrel they had was focus on our children. We have 4 of them now. And this woman has 4 kids within 6 years. Of course, this will affect her career. Right. What is he doing to provide help to see that the children are well cared for? Why she can... The woman is willing, she can take care of her family. Such a woman can walk out of an abusive marriage and do well. Make sure that she's able to do well.
Let me take this call from Sheol. Sheol, are you there? Thanks for calling.
Yeah, good morning.
Yeah, go ahead, you're live.
I'm a first-time caller.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah. Actually, I want to make my own point on the domestic violence.
Okay.
You see, I'm a victim of it.
Okay.
You understand? Why I'm a victim of it is this. We men, we have different way we could control our anger.
Okay.
I, as a person, I've never in my life raised my hand on a lady before in my life, which I would never do. The only man that is not responsible that will raise his hand and beat a woman. I was living with my baby mama we lived for 3 years. We started living from December 2017. But she's the kind of person that cheats on me. You understand? And she cheats on me and says it to my face. Whenever she chats, imagine a lady that is living with me with my child, will be making calls and tell me that they are just my toaster. We'll be chatting with men and say they are just my toaster. And if I'm a kind of man that raises hand and beats him, probably I would have been in the prison by now. But it's not every man that can control his own anger. You understand? So I just felt last year, December, that I just need to walk out of the relationship, just as in to save my own integrity. Now, the family is one way or the other trying to reconcile us, and I make it clear that I can't work because this same lady is somebody I know that I can never change. Just like the case of that man now, that they try to reconcile them. Definitely, if it's something that is in him, he will still do the same thing.
Thank you very much,
Sheol. How to work out of it, rather than turning into something else.
Thank you very much, Sheol. Nobody would ever want to advise any woman to walk out of her marriage. Nobody ever wants that because you'd want to put yourself in her shoes. But at the same time, if this man, according to the video where he's constantly cheating on her with different women. Now, once a serial cheater, you're likely to continue to be a serial cheater. Serial cheat, actually, is a serial cheat. Now, if you do that, is she willing to stick around for that? I mean, now that she has reconciled, is she communicating to other women that it's okay, we've reconciled. He's a cheat, I will stay with him.
Okay.
Or he has said he will change. I mean, what exactly are we learning from this entire experience?
He's been a serial cheat. He's now going to just accept it. Because the reason he beat her was because she confronted him about the cheating.
Yes.
So, will she keep quiet and just allow him to be cheating? Or will she continue to confront him? Because if she confronts him, she faces the possibility of another beating. Yes. Now, that beating was to destroy her face. Her face all on this side. Right. So when she's severely damaged, no man will even look at her. So she will be forced to stay in the marriage. Because he's the only one
that's another part
that will now look at her. And when they say, okay, where will she carry her 4 children? If she dies, where will the 4 children be?
So my question therefore to you ladies is, what would have been the best approach? What would we have heard from either the governor or from this man that will let us know that, okay, this situation is not, was well resolved, because what we saw was reconciliation, but the issue is still embedded.
Yes, we don't know what the governor said to them behind closed doors.
Well, we can predict.
But she came out to say the governor has talked to both of them, and she's respecting him. So now you must remember that the governor is like the father of the states. You know, so it's someone
You want to address why a governor isn't getting involved.
Exactly, that's where I'm going. Because I don't see how he is involving himself in a criminal offense.
Aha, thank you.
Because that is a criminal offense. Unless in Benue State it's not a criminal offense, which I do not know.
So
I know about Lagos.
So for example, if armed robber come and steal now, and you now catch the armed robber, so the governor has to forgive him or move on. Is that the same thing?
I would find out. Let's assume that Benue State does not have laws on domestic violence. They still have the one on battery and assault. And if the governor, hearing this case, decided that because he's a reporter and he's someone that is close to me, let me come in from fatherly, please leave your office. Address them privately and don't make pictures. Because what they usually do in family, they say, I need them, beg your husband, don't do that again. You too, don't beat your wife again. But it's all, yeah, people should be going. So you leave them to their fate and their issues continue. Usually, when the right thing to do is prosecute as an example if you have a proper system. Obviously, in Benue State, there's no place that women can run to now. If they have this kind of cases, they'll be wishing they lived here. But now that you have done this,
they can run to the governor.
The governor should please. No, this one that he has started, you must finish.
Definitely.
It is him that personally I would hold to account if any of this happens or continues in that marriage.
Yeah.
So he should make sure that he finishes it. Work on the man's temper, work on his issues and his infidelity in that marriage.
Let me take Omolara from Delta State. Omolara, are you still there?
Yeah, good morning.
You're live. Go ahead, please. Thanks for calling. Morning.
All right. I'm Omolara.
Yes.
Yes,
and I'm the first-time caller.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. I want to contribute to what we have here. I think my suggestion is, if anybody is going to come into the issue, the best bet is that man should be dealt with. For a man to raise his hands and beat a woman is uncalled for. For what reason? For what reason? In that case, that kind of man cannot change. So the best thing is to either come into the situation, give due judgment that is needful to such a man. Let the man be punished. Let him know. Because I used to tell people that kind of man, let me raise my hand now and start if you can stand such system. It's wrong. How can you raise your hand and is that how you beat your mother? If you put your mother, if you put your wife in the place of your mother, you won't do anything. You look at the wife with eye hesitance. You look at the wife with respect. The way you look at your mom, you won't do anything to beat your wife. That man should be dealt with. He will bring to justice and brought to justice and give justice.
Thank you very much, Omolara. There's another angle to this. I think Mariam was saying that in the
Yes,
group.
I wanted to take Mariam's angle. It's an angle that has always been dear to my heart. When domestic violence is left for this long, usually it could lead to, people usually assume it will lead to the mother of the victim. She might be the one to lose her life, but one single self-defense can cost the life of the perpetrator himself. So it's not safe for both parties. It's not safe for the person dishing it out or the person receiving it. At this point, Mariam,
I'm thinking and making my head. If you are a woman, you've come out to the world, this has happened to me, and then the governor got involved and reconciled you. And you now go back into your closet and the beating continues. Now, you have a few options. This is what Mariam is saying. The woman can say, you know what, I'm going to take my own defense. And then might lead to the death of the perpetrator. Or such that she just continue to accept being beaten up like that. So there are different angles, and that's why it's important that every party in this goes through proper counseling. You don't just reconcile and go home. There has to be process.
There's also a caveat as old as time for men who cheat in their marriages that their wives are responsible for their death. So a woman who keeps quiet and seems forgiving of cheating in her marriage might be subtly planning.
One day.
Even in law, sometimes when a man dies mysteriously, they suspect the wife, they check his history and check whether he's a cheating husband. And even in our traditions, women are made to go through tedious burial rites because they want to be sure that she did not kill her husband out of jealousy. So it is not safe for you, that you're cheating. I'm just saying.
In a nutshell, as we wrap up on this, I think we are happy that they are reconciled. However, reconciliation must go beyond
We are not
coming
happy.
back.
They have not reconciled. We are not happy. Maybe you are. I'm not happy that
I thought
they
you
have
said that you're
reconciled.
happy that the governor is going to resolve that
You
problem.
asked that, is it right for the governor? And I said it could come in from the
Okay,
way
so you would have rather they separate.
No, I'm not happy that they reconciled because
Okay.
reconciliation at this point is not concrete, is not
Okay.
right.
My own is
Without
that
resolving
since the
it.
governor has made himself a
process.
reconciler, he should now put
Lifetime.
advert out. Where anybody who they are beating in your house,
Come and meet me.
come and meet me. That is the job I've now taken because that's not his work
I'm father to everybody.
as governor. That's not his work. Well, let's all know that too. He's governing the state, not governing marriages.
Bio, thank you very much for taking us there. And finally, I think it's important for us to reiterate that because, listen, there are lots of women in that woman's shoes right now. They don't have a governor to go and meet that will set their husband right. So we don't want to set an example. We don't want to set
There are
an
lots of
example.
men
So
who are not
what's
governors.
important is that in this situation, they need to get counseling. Even if you reconcile.
More than Morayo,
You need
it
proper
is not a
mental
2-year
assessment.
counseling.
Yes.
What that man needs is not a 2. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I'm not happy at the reconciliation. Reconciliation will happen eventually after a process of total, purging of all those things.
All the farmer headsmen crisis in
It did
Benue
not
State, they have
resolve.
not finished resolving.
I'm not meeting.
Can you imagine if Zonolu decides that he wants to start cancelling marriages in Lagos?
He will die.
Do you know what we will do to him? He too will not try it.
Because you can't try
No,
that
in
one
the
because
population.
only Benue you can do that one.
Hey, cinema like plazas. Hey.
Your governor doesn't have work. It is marriage counseling. That he is not doing.
They
I
brought
can't
it-
imagine.
He knows the party.
I take my problem to Zonolu say, hey, my husband beats
No,
me.
he knows the
You
pattern.
ask me if I'm normal.
If you know the parties, you can come and
On
say,
that
What is
note-
work I have?
On that note, we have to wrap up. But listen, me, I would like
let's
to say,
take tweets more.
let's take tweets, please. Go ahead.
Okay,
before we wrap up.
sorry.
Very quickly.
Okay,
Why
sorry.
tweets?
The truth of the matter is that the man will still beat her. That's from Obiora MC. Andrew says, we have known women to die suddenly from slaps and igbaru, and we know the women out of self-defense can kill the man, stating what we mentioned earlier. Maya Wagugu says, the governor didn't do well. Will he have done the same for his daughter without offering help to the man or arrest? The man doesn't seem remorseful. He was after his job, and the lady's statement tells that she's just considering cost of her kids. Your marriage will be heaven, sha.
Joseph Obinwa says, good morning, ladies. You see, forgiveness and acceptance is a choice. On the issue of this marriage settlement in Benue, if after counseling an abused partner chooses to go back with an abusive husband or wife, it is their choice. The governor did well to come in.
Okay, we have to wrap up. But you see, listen, the woman is an adult. Yes. And I'm speaking to her right now. You're an adult. You made a decision. That's fine.
Have a job.
You have children. You have a job. So it's fine. But the most important thing is that ensure you and your spouse get counseling, because that's the only way this reconciliation
For the sake of the children.
is sustainable.
For the sake of
that's
the children.
That's our 2 cents.
Yes.
Let's go on a break.
your life.
When we come back, we'll talk about a related topic, sexual violence. Stay with us. We'll be right back.